Hello, my name is Miss Sasha, and I'm a teaching artist in the PACE Arts program through the Acadiana Center for the Arts with the Lafayette Parish School System in Lafayette, Louisiana. And today we are going to draw a lion, and we're going to talk about some cool lion facts. In order to get started, we need to gather a few supplies. They're pretty simple. I have a yellow piece of construction paper. I have some cardboard or recycled material from my recycle box to use the inside that's brown, and scissors and glue, and the crayon colors that I need will be black, brown, orange, green, and white. You can go ahead and pause the video to gather your supplies, and as soon as you return, you can just press play and we'll get started working on our lion. Did you gather all your supplies? Great, let's get started. First, you should know that we're doing a close-up of the lion's face, kind of like this lion down here. So we don't see any of his legs or his paws or his body. We're going to do a close-up. All right, we're going to also work on the background first. We're going to give some of his mane some more hair before we actually add his face, and then we'll add more after that. So just a few facts about the lions. Lions are the only cats that live in groups, unlike the tiger. They're solitary animals, but lions like to live in groups. Their group is called a pride, and it can be anywhere up to like 30 lions in their pride. They're the second largest cat in the cat species. They're second to the tiger. The tiger is a little bit larger than the lion. The average lion weighs about 400 pounds, and the female weighs around 290 pounds. The habitat that lions live in, they prefer grasslands, savannas, dense scrubs, or open woodlands, and it's mostly in Africa, near Africa, around Africa. Lions do not live in jungle, despite their name, King of the Jungle. I did not know that, and that is good information. So let's start on his background. Go ahead and grab the brown. Find the middle of your yellow paper and put a little dot. We're going to do some straight lines, and then we'll add some other lines after that. I'm just going to do lines that go all the way to the edge of the yellow paper. Watch. All the way around. This is not to the edge of the paper. So I'm going to keep going. All the way. Remember, the whole paper is going to actually be the lion's mane. We are drawing a male lion. The female lions do not have manes. See this? This is the female lion. She does not have a mane. This is the male lion. He does. It's that big amount of hair. The older the lion, the darker the mane. So if you put more brown or more orange or more black on your lion's mane, that just means he's an older male lion. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and add another brown line between each of the lines that I've already made. And I'm going to make sure it touches the edge of my page. If you see a big open space, add another one. When you're done with that, go ahead and grab your orange. And let's do the same thing. I'm going to just go in between each and every one. We'll make this lion's mane a little bit thicker than the example. How's that? Great. I did the same thing with black, but I just didn't add as much. So maybe, and I didn't press as hard. So I just went around and added a little bit of black. Now, we're using our imagination. This lion's head is really not the color of yellow, but it's a good color to represent our lion. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Perfect. Add as much as you want. Looks good. So you can grab your recycled box I'm going to cut off a piece because my box is huge. I'm going to cut a little piece off for you to see. Here we go. It's got a bend in it or a fold, so I'm just going to unfold it. All right. I think what I will do is tape it to the wall, and I want you to see how I'm putting it right over my yellow paper so I know how big to make my lion's head. I don't want it to be too small. I want it to kind of fill my space right here. And get a little bit more tape. I know you're working on a flat surface, and I'm working on the wall, so I have to put tape. All right. There, you can see that this can fill my space. This one might be a little bit bigger than this one, and that is fine. So go ahead and get your black crayon. Okay. We're going to make a horizontal line that goes across the page. That's just kind of for the top of his head, this line right here. And we're going to curve down here to make the shape of his head, the shape. I know that it's got a lot of hair right there, so we're just imagining that the shape is kind of like the letter U. Okay, watch. I'm going to curve way down and way back up to that line. And his ears, they're like little, you can't see it on this one, but this is like a little curved line. They're right here. So I kind of did mine on the corner of this, of his head. So I started on the side, and I went up and around, and on the side, up and around. Okay? Perfect. And we're going to add the little inside of his ear, where it would be kind of darker, kind of like our ears, right? The hole where you can hear from. Watch. I'm going to go right over that little triangle, that little corner. And then I'm just going to color that in. Makes the point go away, this little point. It turns it into his little ear. If you want to go across, you can like that. Look. That's completely fine. Great. Now notice his nose, and his comes off of, and his little mouth is right there too. So we're going to start with a triangle, not quite in the middle of his head, maybe a little bit farther down. So if this is the middle of my lion's head, I'm going to move down, boop, just a little bit, and put a little horizontal line. That's going to be for the top of his nose. So far, so good. All right, you got that? Let's make a little triangle, 2 diagonal lines that make a little point, or like a letter V. Watch. Down, up, like a little letter V. Look at his nose. They've got a pretty good sense of smell. And I'm going to color that in. While you're coloring that in, I'm going to give you a few more lion facts. Let's see. They make sounds to communicate. They don't have voices and words like we have, so they use their sounds to communicate. So they might use grunts or purrs, snarls, moans, and hums. Just like when you pet a little kitten, purrs whenever he's happy, or purrs when he doesn't want you to leave. So he tells you that he's happy that way. A male's roar is much deeper and louder than the female's lion's roar. And a female lion is called a lioness. So her roar is not nearly as deep or loud as the male. All right, let's finish up his little mouth. We're going to put a little line that goes down from the point, just like this, and then across, like a little diagonal, like this and like this. And if you want to kind of curve it like this to make it look like that's his little mouth right there, you can. You can make this a little bit darker. It's looking good so far. All right, we're going to do the bridge of his nose. this part. This is our nose bridge, and we're going to do their nose bridge. It's going to go from the top corners of our triangle all the way up to the top of our cardboard. Watch. Line up, line up. Mine kind of went a little slanted. Yours can go straight. Either way is fine. Look, this is a pride of lions, or a group of lions. Okay? All right, let's do his eyes. His eyes are a little bit round, so they're up here by the middle of his nose. And if you curve like this and curve like this, and then under there, go ahead and put a little curved line. It's looking great. Okay. All right. And then I kind of made the corner of the eye darker right there. Corner of the eye. And this little corner, maybe you want to go around it and make it a little bit darker. And then while you're doing that, you could put a little pupil in there. Right? These are a little bit rounder, these eyes. That's okay. If yours are round, that's great. And then we'll put like a little eyebrow, a little above his eye. Like that. And we also need to put these circles that come from the triangle, and they kind of fill this space. This will be where his whiskers come out of. Watch. I did mine in brown over here, but since we have the black, we'll go ahead and fill it in just like this. So I went from the corner of the top of the triangle to the bottom down here. I'm going to go ahead and make it darker. You can also put some little dots, and it's going to blend with the white. We're doing this one slightly different from this, so we have options. I like options. Perfect. While you're adding your little circles, let's see. Cats, these animals, these lions can run up to 50 miles an hour, but they can only do it in spurts. That means like a sprint. So if you were going to sprint and get something, you might get a little tired. A long distance runner has a little bit more endurance, where these lions don't. They have to see what they want and run and try to get it, and then they need to rest if they don't get what they want. Okay? All right. Let's keep adding to our lion. All right, go ahead and grab the white crayon. And let's color in his little cheeks right here. Remember, I said it's going to probably blend a little bit with those black crayon, and that's good. That's fine. It's hard to see the white on the cardboard, but you can. And so go ahead and add it. Great. And then right here, you see how he has his little chin fur right here? You can turn this. We'll add some brown down there as well in just a minute. So add your white. You know, and the wild lions can live up to around 12 years. And just so you know, the females are better hunters than the males. Two good facts to know. When you're done with your white, go ahead and get your brown. Let's take the brown, and we're going to go ahead and kind of go over some of our lines that we already have there, right here. And down here, you can add a little bit of brown to his little chin. And then his nose bridge. You can add that, make that brown. Sometimes I use my crayons for kind of shadowing and shading. So on this lion, we're going to do a little bit more of that, okay? So you can take your brown and go around the edge of your lion's ears. You can make it furry by adding some zigzags, like that. This one's ears are kind of hidden, but you can see this, and so they have a lot of fur around. You can kind of zigzag above the top here. Perfect. All right, and we're also going to take our brown and kind of color around the edges. Like this. There we go. Look at that. Starting to look way cool. All right, we might be done with our brown for now, unless you see another spot that needs to have a little bit more brown. We can put the brown away. Let's get the green. You can go ahead and color in his eyeballs with the green. Their eyes in here are golden. I just chose green. You can do yours golden if you'd like as well. Sometimes we're just using our imagination. All right, I'm going to take the lion off of this now, and I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to cut my lion out. Be careful. If you accidentally cut off one of his little ears, don't worry. We can go ahead and glue it back. Happens all the time. But I'm going to try to be real careful. If you need help cutting out your cardboard, go ahead and ask your mom or your dad or your sibling. You can ask for help. It's not a problem. There we go. Look, be real careful. I try not to cut off any of my crayons. Look. Lion head. While you're cutting out, I'll tell you a few more lion facts. Let's see. They are social cats. They like to hang out together, just like I said before, in their pride. They rest for about 20 hours a day. And you know we only have 24 hours in a day, so that's a lot of sleeping. And they like to sleep especially after they've had a really good meal. So after they've eaten, they like to even take a longer rest. So they often snooze with one eye open so they can keep a lookout for their family and take care of each other that way. Their roar can be heard almost 5 miles away. That is a long roar because it's so deep and it kind of vibrates in the air. And so you can almost feel it when the lion roars his loud roar. When a cub meows, he's really just practicing and trying to learn how to roar. So when he gets bigger, he can be heard from 5 miles away as well. Okay? All right, I have my lion all cut out. I'm going to put some glue on the back. All over. And I'm going to press it into the middle, right in the middle. I might have had to put a little bit more glue than you. Good. Get it all pressed on there. All right. Now that our lion's head is glued on, we're going to talk a little bit about lion cubs. When lion cubs are born, they're as small as a kitten. Look, here's a little kitten, and lion cubs are not any bigger than that. And then they grow to be, what, 400 plus pounds? That's pretty amazing. So, yeah, here's our little guy. So imagine that this could be a little tiny lion cub. All right. Let's get started on making his mane a little bit thicker so that we know that he's a much older lion, right? I'm going to take my brown and I'm going to add some more zigzags up here on top of this that we already added, right? And then I can also add more of a beard down here by his little mouth, right? Look at his beard. See, you can do that. Perfect. And then we'll do like some zigzag lines that go out over here. Watch. If you want to get close to that cardboard, you just kind of have to turn your crayon a little. Right? Like that. And I just add a little bit more zigzags in there. Remember, this one's going to be a little bit different than that one's going to be a little bit thicker, right? And then around his ears, you can kind of go off the edge of the page. Like this, right? Like that. Oh, it's looking good. And I'm going to do the same thing with the orange. It just adds a little bit more detail, makes them look even more, more amazing. Look. Around his little ear. Looks pretty cool. All right, maybe a little bit more around his ears. All right, while you're adding more hair to his mane, I will give you a few more. Let's see. When lions find a meal, they share their meals with each other, and they eat anything from zebras, antelopes, buffaloes, rhinos, hippos, hogs, crocodiles. I mean, they're not super picky, right, on what they're eating. They're carnivores, so they eat a lot of meat. They have to hunt often to feed everybody in their pride. And when they do bring a meal back, the male lions eat first, then the lioness, and then the cubs get to eat. And all the while the cubs are watching and learning from their parents on how to do the hunting. So sometimes they'll even steal food from other carnivores that are living around them. They might take something that a hyena or a cheetah or a leopard or wild hog, whatever they can find, they'll even steal from their from the other animals that are living around where they live. Something really cool to know about lions that are different from the other animals in the cat family is that while they're lying around, they're very loving towards each other. They're rubbing each other's heads, they're grooming each other, and they're purring. And as you can see, the male lions also take care of the cubs. And this is also super cute. When a lioness can have like 2 to 3 cubs, and they kind of pick someone to be their aunt, the aunt of the cubs, or like a nanny, what you might call a godparent. And so they help each other to raise each other's cubs. That's super cute. So I was going to show you a few things that you could add on to your lion if you wanted to keep going. You could use your recycled cardboard, or I found a few small pieces of construction paper. This is 2 shades of brown. One is a light brown, one is a dark brown. And if you take your scissors and you cut long skinny strips like this, here's 1, here's 2, cut these in half. And if you do something like an accordion fold, you go back, look, back and forth, back and forth. Then it'll make like a zigzag, right? And then you can take your glue, put a little squirt of glue on one of the little pieces, not the whole thing, just on a little bit of your lion, and you can shove it up under your cardboard, and you can start to make his mane even fuller and more 3-dimensional by adding these accordion folded pieces of paper. Watch, I pre-folded some of them so that you could see. Watch. There we go. And so I'm making it just more 3-dimensional. This one has glue. You could, if you go all the way around, then his mane will be sticking out kind of big like these lions do. And if those are too long, watch. All you have to do is, look, we can snip it. Snip, snip. And then you can use these scraps to add more. Watch. They don't all have to be long. This one, I'll add a few more. To a lion, you just kind of tuck it up under there all the way around until your lion's mane is super duper full. Look, all the way around. That's pretty cool. Well, thank you for hanging out and drawing a lion with me and learning all about lions. We'll be posting a new lesson every day at 10 a.m. on the Acadiana Center for the Arts YouTube channel for kindergarten, first, and second grade, each tied to an academic curriculum. You can also get these lessons on AOC as part of the Learn United program, accessible on AOC on Cox Channel 16 or LUS Channel 4. Kindergarten lessons will be airing at 8, first and second grade lessons airing at 9. Some lessons will be in visual arts and some will be in creative movement. Be sure to come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you're interested in supporting programs like this, visit the Acadiana Center for the Arts.org. It's the nonprofit who manages the PACE program. Spread the word, share our videos, and keep making art.